Hey you, yes, I'm talking to you. The majority of you are not subscribed to this channel, so take a second. If you love me, if you love your mother or your father, actually if you don't have a mother or father, if you love your cat or your dog or your lizard, whatever the hell you have, if you're a freak, stop, subscribe, we really appreciate you. Thank you. Our guest today, I don't think there's anybody in the world that does this job better than this guy. If you're ever at a restaurant spilling your beans to a really hot chick and she's just being open and absolutely loves you, the odds are he's 10 feet away wearing a wig with a mic. James O'Keefe. James, thank you for being here, brother.
Great to be here.
I absolutely love you. I don't think these people know, James, you literally just left court and you walked in here, you look freaking dapper, but it's not for a good thing.
No.
It's not for a positive thing, so I want to touch on it briefly because I want people to understand when they see this, you literally were in your car, you left.
I literally drove from the Miami courthouse to here to this diner. I'm wearing this suit because I was in court, and it's a crazy story. Not an April Fool's joke.
Not an April Fool's.
Not an April Fool's joke. But this guy got a temporary restraining order against me for publishing what he said, and he said he wanted to murder me, and he shot a bullet through the image of me on the front of my book. And I'm a news organization, so this is like totally unconstitutional to get a restraining order against a journalist just because you don't like what he's saying. But he brought me to family court in Miami under the domestic violence division, so the judge signed off on it. So then today they asked me to surrender my firearms, which I was like, what? So this just happened 2 hours ago from me sitting down here. I drove to Fort Lauderdale. So we're filing an emergency appeal right now, this afternoon to appeal this decision, but this is truly, again, not an April Fool's joke.
Not April Fool's.
People are going to think I'm making this up. This actually happened this morning.
Okay, now aliens. Can we talk about aliens for once? Like, I want to completely
change the subject.
Yeah. So James, I saw former Congress. You like that transition?
Yes, it was very good.
That was an impressive transition.
Yeah. So Matt Gaetz. I don't know if you saw this. I'm pretty sure you were busy as hell yesterday because I saw you. Matt Gaetz says he was briefed about a secret program where aliens were breeding with humans to make a hybrid race. He said that humans were allegedly abducted from war zones and migrant caravans, and there's a whistleblower telling him that there were between 6 and 8 locations around the country where this happens. Do you believe that type of stuff?
First of all, I did not see that.
It was because you were busy.
It came out. The sheriff came to my office yesterday.
Yeah. Can you imagine even the sheriff?
A live show.
Can you imagine the sheriff handcuff you going, hey, did you hear about Matt?
I had a long conversation with that sheriff. Maybe I should talk to him about aliens.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. I wouldn't be surprised if aliens came in the diner right here. I just got out of family court for domestic violence stalking.
And you're not even related to the guy, which is crazy.
He was threatening him, not the other way around.
Everything's so upside down. Again, in terms of the aliens, it would not shock me if aliens walked right over here and sat
here.
I'd be like, oh, it's Tuesday.
And they sat here like, hey, James, heard about court. Like, that would be that type of moment.
That would not surprise me.
They try and sue you.
But go ahead, what were you going to say?
All right, you get a lot of tips, through your website and this and that. What's the weirdest tip you ever got? Any alien-related tips?
Yeah, were there anything crazy, James?
Anything crazy, and you go like, oh my God, is this?
I get so many weird stuff, but the problem is people go on and on and on and on. I'm trying to sift through the tip to find out where's the actual evidence of the thing. People treat me like a therapist when they send me a tip. They want me to be their shrink, their psychologist.
But James, and again, I'm gonna have a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
But I want you to know this.
Yeah.
This is Holy Week. Jesus went through the worst thing possible in that week. You're going through it right now, but I'm going to tell you, I don't know you that, James, we've always been cool with each other. I respect the hell out of you. What you do is so, beyond important. I know you hear this all the time. I want you to know from the outside, what you do is so important. To hell with all these people, because I think there's something evil going on, and I think there's a spiritual battle going on where Satan himself doesn't want people like you exposing the actual truth. And I saw it in your face yesterday in the video. Please, James, for the sake of what you're doing, you keep freaking going, bro. I don't give a damn about these people. Yeah. By the way, you're going to beat this.
Yeah.
Domestic court.
You always do if you don't give up, right?
Exactly.
But the process is the punishment.
Yes.
The process is extremely punishing.
Yes.
And it's hard to find a reward or an incentive to get people to do this. I heard the Treasury Secretary is doing an incentive. I look forward to seeing that, but it's just the psychological, the financial the legal toll, it's tough.
I can imagine.
So you have to go all the way. I mean, some of my cases have been going on for 9 or 10 years into the appeals courts, the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. These are cases from 10 years ago. Lawyers have made millions of dollars.
Of course.
So that's why not many people do it. There are certain people who do it. You know, citizen journalist Nick Shirley's doing it. I know they're going to come after him at some point if he keeps doing it.
100%.
If he keeps
100%
going,
they're going to come after him.
So you have to prepare yourself. But yeah, this is as you can see. My energy might be off because I literally just got out of court this morning. I'm always in court.
But it's all good.
I'm practically a lawyer at this point.
But if it's not for people like you, there is no Nick Shirley. There isn't. This is my personal opinion. These guys look up to people like you because, James, you've been doing this since Acorn and Breitbart and NPR.
I started when I was 19. It was 2004. YouTube didn't yet exist. If iPhone didn't yet exist. So I've seen, two of my mentors, leave, Andrew Breitbart, Charlie Kirk. So I've been doing it a long time.
So let me ask you a question, James. So your first viral college stunt was trying to get Lucky Charms banned for offending Irish people.
Yes.
This was in college?
This was St. Patrick's Day, 2005.
So what, can you please, did you hear about this?
Yes.
So wait,
amazing.
So wait, please, James, just to lighten the levity of the situation, you tried getting Lucky Charms banned for, like, what the hell happened? Like,
this is like a political correctness run amok on campuses. And I went to Rutgers, New Jersey, and we had something called the grease trucks, which is the sandwich trucks.
Yes.
And some of the names of the sandwiches offended the students. So I thought it would be clever and ironic, as an Irishman, my last name O'Keefe, my mother's last name McAfee, so I've got the O apostrophe and the Mick. I'm as Irish as they come.
Nice.
I go in there with the box of Lucky Charms, and I say to the dean, and now this is before the iPhone. So we had to take a Kodak digital camera and tape a piece of duct tape over the blinking red light and hide it, the video in the bookshelf.
Yeah.
And I said, now, I brought a box of Lucky Charms for you to look at here, and it appears as though an Irish American's on the front cover.
Yep.
We're not lucky. My great, I don't remember how many grandfather died in the Irish potato famine, and this is offensive.
Yeah.
And there appears to be a little green-cladded gnome, a huckster, on the front of the box. We're not all short, we have our differences of height. The dean took copious notes, was like, this is, yeah. And then I took out the campus speech codes, and I was like, according to statute 137D, you're not allowed to offend anybody. They agreed to ban Lucky Charms.
No are you serious?
St. Patrick's Day, 2005. I got Lucky Charms banned. Now, I go to the dining hall the next day, and people throwing Lucky Charms in at
The biggest enemy in the world.
I swear to God, one of them came up to me and was like, you fucking Mick. And I was like, there's that bigotry that we're talking about right there.
So funny.
And they were really angry at me because I got the Lucky Charms banned, but then it got like immediately reinstated when they realized it was a prank.
Yeah.
But this was like the beginnings of my gonzo, citizen journalism. And what I found in my life is that I do these things kind of intending to shock people, and then they kind of end up shocking me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about.
The gonzo, it becomes really serious.
Yeah.
And then you got the pimp thing with the Acorn pimp, and again, it was kind of a silly thing, but it became this extremely serious investigative reporting about government corruption. So that was the beginning.
So let me ask you, was that the moment where you realized, people will tell you everything if you stay serious and you stay in a character long enough?
It was really hard for me to not laugh.
Yeah.
In fact, the video's on YouTube to this day.
My love.
If you watch the video, I'm sitting there and I'm like, we're not all green and I'm starting to laugh.
Yeah.
And I turn my laughter into kind of a nervous, anxious cry. I'm like, this is wrong. And I tried so hard not to laugh. That was probably the hardest part about that.
Oh man. So James, you were in school. Was it high school? Like you were in theater and journalism in high school. Did that love for that and storytelling naturally turn over to the undercover work? Because you play characters, you get into your modes. I think there's a theatrical or performative. I consider myself an artist with an artist's sensibility and an artist's soul. Now I work on the peripheral of politics because I cover political corruption, but I'm not political. Yes.
So I think it's kind of there's a theater, but theater, right, is a form of revelation. You're showing people a story. The stories I tell are not, it's not fake. It's all real human beings
Yes.
being recorded as themselves.
Yes.
But it's kind of guerrilla theater. So it's a kind of, the stage meets real life. Some people call it like cinema verite. It's truthful, it's truth in action.
It's almost like improv. Like you don't know what the
Improv.
hell's gonna happen, and you're just going.
Yeah, but that Lucky Charms stunt, think about it. They were kind of screwed because whatever they do,
They're screwed either way.
they can take me seriously, in which case they become a laughing stock.
Yeah.
But if they don't take me seriously, now they violated their own campus rules. So I kind of put them in that situation.
Oh, were you gonna ask something, Elon?
Well, I just wanted to know if that was like the biggest high you've had in it that first time where you realized the absurdity of it all. Was that like have you ever replicated that feeling?
The high. I think over time, my adrenal glands are done at this point. I mean, I need to take a. They're like raisins. I don't even know. I mean, I'm a pretty healthy guy. My blood work is pretty normal, but that my nervous system is probably pretty wrecked by now.
Yeah.
So you don't feel the highs and the lows. There's a great quote. You don't rejoice when you win or weep when you lose. You just go through so much shit. I think the biggest high was when we walked out of the Acorn office in Baltimore, and they were telling me how to declare the underage hookers as dependents on the tax return.
Amazing.
My heart was beating out of my chest. I'm like, I got something hot here. I didn't know what to do with it. What do I do with this? My gut knew that it was a big story, and when you're on to a big story, maybe you get a little bit of adrenaline.
You want to say something?
I think there's a certain humor to this whole thing. It's very serious, everything you deal with. But at the same time, if you didn't keep it funny, even Nick Shirley has a little bit of that.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
For sure.
Leering
It's all
Center.
absurd.
Leering Center.
Yeah.
Leering.
I
Yeah.
like how he said, they've leered their lesson. I was like,
Yeah.
that's great.
But I don't know, is it a cope mechanism? Is this part of the business? Just making, because some things are so ridiculous that they sound like jokes.
Truth is stranger than fiction. Like, there's a million examples, but I was in family court in Miami for a domestic violence restraining order. My team was laughing. The sheriff was in my office. The sheriff
Everyone saw him, yeah.
from Palm Beach County would get guns. I mean, usually I've been sued between 30 and 50 times. I've lost count. A sheriff never serves you papers. It's usually a process service.
Yes, of course.
So I'm on a live show, only on Tuesday, and the sheriff walks into my studio, and him and I are just having this conversation.
And you're live.
It's so absurd.
And I'm live. I mean, imagine in PBD,
Oh.
a sheriff walks in front of him.
And it's like, hey,
Hey, so we got to talk about this domestic violence accusation.
I'm not even your family.
So we were literally laughing. My producer Andrew and I were laughing to the point of tears.
That's so.
I can't explain the feeling. I guess it's like irony. It's extreme amounts of irony.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny.
It breaks. It goes past like the threshold. Of, like
Jack
what the hell?
It's like Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men. He goes, "This is funny.
Yeah.
This is funny." Is
Yeah,
what this is.
yeah, exactly.
You start laughing because what are you gonna do? You gonna cry?
Yeah.
I mean, the best tragedies always have comedy in them.
Yeah.
No
Oh, yeah.
such thing as a good tragedy.
Oh, that's the funniest people. The most
Your
broken,
face on the
crazy.
video.
Yeah.
Like I saw your face on the video, you couldn't believe it.
I couldn't. People thought it was staged. They thought it was fake.
I thought it was staged.
Everyone think, oh, he's a grifter. He's faking. He's staging, and that's when reality becomes. It's hard these days to ascertain what's real and what's not real.
Yeah. Mhm.
But that was not staged. It's almost like the dude planted the sheriff to come during
well,
my show
I thought like as an actor.
because
like,
he wants
oh,
attention.
Of course he does.
They all, by the way, all these sick people the evil that we expose, they want the attention. They want to sue me, as you know, and
Yep.
anyway.
Have
Yeah.
you told the rights to your life? Because the movie they're gonna make
Oh,
about
Man,
you.
if they made that a comedy,
Oh my God.
that would be a great
It
comedy.
would be a comedy, but it'd have dramedy. It'd have drama.
Sure, it'd be a dramedy.
Yeah.
It'd be a dramedy. Let me ask
Yeah.
you a question, James. So your dad was an engineer,
Yep.
and your mom was a
Physical
physical
therapist.
therapist. So which part of you came from?
We
each
don't
one of
know.
them, like
My sister is creative. I'm a creative. I don't know. I know my dad gave me the work ethic. My dad's the hardest working guy I've ever met. My mother gave me the sense of justice because my mom's really about proportionality and fairness for humans. I don't know where the creative came from. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But ever since I was a child, I was always a writer and creative, and maybe that comes from God. I don't know.
I 100% agree with
does
that.
come from God.
Nobody from like no uncles, no aunts, nobody that tried
No.
theater or nothing. It was just you.
Nothing. I was a teenager, and I saw Little Shop of Horrors, and
Oh man, great movie.
Great movie. I saw it in my high school theater, and I thought, yeah, that's really cool. I want to do that. So I tried out for George Gershwin's Crazy for You, and I got the leading role of Bobby Gershwin.
Sick.
And then 4 years ago, I did Oklahoma. I was the leading role of the cowboy in Oklahoma.
Are you serious?
Hammerstein. Oh yeah, I took a month off and did a musical.
Dude.
Yeah. I don't know what came out of me. It just get on stage and just comes out of you. I don't know why.
So you mentioned your sister. So you're the oldest, and you have a younger sister.
Yeah, she's an architect. She's 2 years younger than me.
How was that relationship? Were you always pushing her? Were you like the protective brother? Were you the one that was just like whatever? What was that relationship
Well,
like?
I'm the brother, and I don't have a brother, so we were just the two of us.
Awesome.
So
What's her name?
Her name's Amanda.
Amanda.
Yeah. So yeah, we grew up in New Jersey, and my dad engineer, but his income came from a rental house, rental property, and we would work on the homes together as a family. So we'd paint, we'd do plumbing, we'd do roofing, we'd do all those things, and it would just be basically the four of us and my grandfather, and we would do that on the weekends when I was growing up.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's freaking sick. So, and by the way, you made Eagle Scout.
Yes.
When you were a kid. Do you use any of those skills? So Eagle Scout is what? You're like the #1 Boy Scout.
I think
you're
it's
nasty.
top 2% of Boy Scouts
In the nation?
in the United States retain the rank of Eagle. Maybe it's higher now. And I don't know if their Boy Scouts have girls in it at this point. I don't know.
I know, but I think they tried.
I think there was a whole thing with that.
Thank you so much. Oh yeah, there was a push to put girls in
the Boy Scouts.
In the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, so I mean, the Boy Scouts was hugely formative in my life. You have to get 21 merit badges. You learn life-saving wilderness survival. I remember that one. Shotgun shooting and rifle shooting were badges in the 90s.
Oh, that's mine.
Yeah.
I shot a 12-gauge shotgun when I was 11 years old and 77 pounds, and I remember, it was a pretty good shot.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, and I want to get into a little bit, but do you mind if we pray before we eat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dear Lord, thank you for the food we're about to eat and the hands that made it. For everybody in the production side, and especially James, Lord, with everything that he's going through, please protect him, guide him, have your Holy Spirit inside him, and let him know that nothing, Lord, nothing that evil and the devil tries to come after him will ever hurt him. Keep him underneath your feet, because you are the way, the truth, and the life. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right, so, and then James, quick question. As a kid, what was your first prank that you pulled that you thought, you know what?
Man, that's a good question.
Like, what's the first one that you were like, okay, I could work this, I could use this, and I could get people to do some crazy stuff? Were you that kid? Were you the trouble? Like, James, I got into trouble. Like, when I tell you I did stuff where I'm dead serious. I didn't go to jail. My father didn't literally kill me. Like, I had a lot of moments, bro. I had a lot of moments.
I heard some of them this week.
Oh, my mom, yeah, this guy sits with my mom. My mom's visiting, and she's at my house, my apartment right now. He goes, what's the craziest? And my mom gave me the look like, I'm gonna go. And she told me some crazy stuff. Do you have anything wild?
I sitting here right now, I honestly don't remember if there was ever there must have been.
Something.
I know that maybe kindergarten, first, second grade, I was a little bit mischievous in class, but I don't remember
Nothing
a
wild?
specific prank or anything like that.
You know what I did, James? This is so. Well, by the way, today's, the day that today is, I found the bullet. Think about this, East Coast. I find the bullet. I'm in the gymnasium. By the way, don't ever try this at home. I took a bullet, and I'm just in the gym by myself, slamming this bullet on the floor, trying to do what? Let it explode.
Like an actual
Bro, I'm from the hood. So I find the bullet, and I'm like, you know what? Let's see.
Where
bro.
are you from?
I'm from Yonkers, New York.
You're from Yonkers?
I'm from Yonkers.
I'm a Mamaroneck for 10 years.
Oh, that's where my cousin Danielle is with her family, with my cousins. James, it's a 9mm that I just found, and I'm outside. I was a kid, bro, freaking 9, 10,
yeah.
And I'm slamming this thing as hard as I could, and I'm in Catholic school, St. Joseph's. One of the ladies comes in, she goes, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm just trying to make this thing go off. And she's like, get the hell out of here. And I remember, James, walking home, they kicked me out. They go, get the hell out of here. And I'm walking home. What are the odds that my mom's off that day? She's sick. And I see her on the balcony. They haven't called yet. I go, hi, Mom. She's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, my tummy hurts. James, I walk upstairs and I'm in the room and I'm playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out and I'm just waiting.
Best game ever made.
The phone rings and my mom goes from hello to, in Assyrian, she goes, Katlinduch, which means I'm gonna kill you. And then the beating came. But I was just doing, that's not even a
What
prank.
language was that?
Aramaic.
Aramaic.
I speak the language that Jesus Christ spoke. It's
Wow.
Assyrian. So when I watched the movie The Passion of the Christ, James, fun little fact, whoever Mel Gibson's dialect coach was fantastic.
Oh, yeah?
Because I didn't have to read the subtitles. It was a little off because he went old school, but it was amazing because so when Jesus does come back, I'm good because I'm gonna be like.
For Christianity, aren't the Assyrians one of the oldest Christian sects that are still in existence today?
Yes, Armenians actually, because I like to debate, especially like Armenians are very proud. I think they're the first people,
They're the first nation.
the first nation to accept Christianity.
The first Christian nation is Armenia.
As a nation, as a
yeah, the
country.
nation.
Okay, so James, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
You study philosophy at Rutgers.
Yes.
What's the one philosopher or idea that still affects you to this day? What's the one that you live by?
Probably not the one philosopher that I studied in college, but I'm a big fan of G.K. Chesterton.
Who's that? And what was
He
it?
was a philosopher. He was a journalist, and he was kind of called the Prince of Paradox. So he wrote a book called Orthodoxy. He was a journalist. He was an investigative journalist. At Rutgers, I studied a lot of I studied logic, which was which is a philosophy course, but it's almost akin to math. You know, if A, then B. If B, then C. Therefore, if A, then C. And I did not go to journalism school. Everyone always asks me, "Would you go to journalism school?" I spent the majority of my time doing a newspaper in college. I started a newspaper
Okay.
called
What's it called?
The Centurion.
The Centurion.
Which is the guy that stands for 100 Roman
I love
soldiers.
it.
And I spent most of my college days focusing on that newspaper. So I majored in philosophy of mind and sociology, and I learned through the School of Hard Knocks how to be a journalist.
Do you remember any headlines from the Centurion? Because you're very good at headlines.
Headlines. Yeah, I mean, there was so many. The first thing I did is I went to public records request and found out who donated to Republicans versus Democrats on campus, and found the ratio was 104 to 1.
Oh,
Democrats to Republicans, and that was the issue of the Centurion, 104 Democrats to everyone Republican. There was another headline where it was like best decorated doors. So we go around to professors and find like communist literature on the door. Like this was George W. Bush versus John Kerry, 2004. Someone wrote Buck Fush, like fuck Bush. And on this door, so we put the picture of that in the newspaper. And there was another one where we actually published how much the professors made, because it's a state university.
wow.
Rutgers is the only university not called New Jersey State. I don't know. It's Rutgers University is a state university of New Jersey, meaning that all of the salaries are public information. So we literally printed out all the salaries of all the history and political science professors, and called it. And some of them were making $250,000 a year.
How hated were you?
And we called
They want to kill you.
and we called it Lifestyles of the Rich and Marxist.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And we stuffed these. It was more like a magazine. We stuffed it into their P.O. boxes. And everyone was gossiping, why does he make more money than I do?
Oh yeah, it gets them to turn on each other.
They were turning on each other. And
Genius.
So it's kind of like muckraking, like campus muckraking.
Was there ever a time where you just cracked up out of nowhere in the middle of being you just couldn't hold it back?
Inside the undercover assignment?
Yeah.
Like,
Not now, but early on, yes. But now you get into a character where you're just doing a job. You're playing a role. So you're so focused on getting the story, or you're cerebrally trying to get the subject to where you need them to get, that where my mind is not in the humor of the circumstance, it's in the direction I'm going.
The goal.
I'm so goal driven that I don't, the audience is like, how do you keep a straight face? It's like, well, I'm so goal driven that I'm not thinking about this from their perspective.
You ever look at like Sanford Meisner and his exercises and
For acting?
yeah, and like the coming off of each other, like blue shirt, and you have to just like live truthfully under imaginary circumstance on it. Very much what you're doing.
Yeah.
Whether you trained in it or not is.
Exactly. I at School of Hard Knocks. I've been doing this for 22 years.
Yeah.
41.
And you came to the same conclusion as one of the best acting coaches in history. So.
Through making all the mistakes and getting burned undercover and having I was arrested one time in Louisiana. That could I could take an hour to talk about that, but 30-second version is I was in a federal building and I got busted because I was making a YouTube video and it was all misunderstanding. So you learn these things the hard way and then it teaches you. Yeah.
Was that the biggest fail? Because I mean, James, you and I was telling my mom, because my mom's like, who are you doing the podcast with? I go, Mom, one of my favorite people in this space, James O'Keefe. I showed a bunch of videos. James, when after like exposing corruption to where, and James, it bothers me because he knows me a lot. The lack of accountability is.
Do you know why? Do you know
Why?
why? I was just talking to everyone.
From everybody, James. All of them.
Half I would say 75% of my comments, and I'm sure you've seen it yourself.
Of course.
Where are the arrests?
All the time.
Okay, let's call it 100% of the comments.
Yes.
So let me just address that. And why is there no accountability? I have a reason for you. Because when you hold them accountable, they go after you. Let me say that again. When you go after the bad guys will go after you. So the people in the DOJ, if they go, there is a pretty high likelihood that when Trump leaves and Gavin Newsom's the president, they're going to start indicting and going after the people who went after them.
100%.
So the human behavior is governed by incentives, not virtue. And the comments are like, well, why aren't people doing the right thing? Because there's no incentive for them to do the right thing. Do you think that there's an incentive for me to doing what I'm doing? Not making much money. I'm getting in court every day. I've had 3 near-death situations in the last 3 months. I'll go through those if you'd like.
Yeah.
My team was violently assaulted in Los Angeles. I've got organized crime doing voter fraud, so if I actually successfully expose it, they'll try to kill me. So there's no incentive to do the right thing. There's no accountability because if you effectively and successfully go after those guys and the political power changes hands, they'll just come after. And I'm a living proof of that, man. I've been arrested by Eric Holder's Attorney General in the United States, FBI, spent 3 years, supervised probation. I've been raided by Joe Biden's FBI just because I'm a news reporter. So, you can tell all these stories, but people are afraid to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Do you think it's starting to shift a little bit after the recent thing? Let's say with Nick Shirley, there was such a public outcry. Do you think that there's going to be any?
Has anybody been arrested?
No.
Okay.
Minimal in Minnesota. I did see, but this was before him. A lot of people, like I want to say, a big chunk of these Somalians they had a couple of white guys, but then it made it to LA, but it was before Nick Shirley. But here's my question to you, James. What if it was me and you in charge of all of it?
That's a great ticket.
I would in 2 seconds.
I'm voting on it.
Yeah.
I would never run for office, but continue.
What would we have to do to change? What does the public? What needs to happen? Because people all say, "Oh, what do you mean revolution?" and flip it over. If none of them are getting held accountable, and you're out here, the death threats, the freaking court cases, all the, and you have no idea. I'll say it again, how much I appreciate what you do, James, and I want you to keep going. There's no incentive. At what point are the people going to say enough is enough? It's going to be on us to do it, because that's the only way.
Do you mean citizen journalism, or do you mean accountability?
Accountability. What the hell do we? Because think about it. The only 2 people that were arrested so far, indicted, was James Comey and Letitia James, and guess what happened? They released them.
They got
off within 2 weeks.
And the problem with that is that they're eventually going to start indicting the Republicans.
Of course.
And there needs to be a kind of detente. We can't just. If I were to go to Brooklyn, New York, you're from Yonkers, and I'd poll the constituents, how many of you want to see James O'Keefe in prison? I would say the majority of people want me in prison. And then if I go to Michigan, some rural red, and I say, how many of you want AOC in prison? They'd all want AOC in prison.
Yeah.
There has to be a detente.
Yes.
We can't keep trying to jail each other because we don't like each other. And justice has now become, unfortunately, blurred. In other words, there's this Aristotelian concept of justice, Platonic concept of justice. Like, justice is doing good to my friends and bad to my enemies. That's 100%. Not justice.
100%.
And unfortunately, our politics is consumed by this weird form of justice. We need to jail Gavin Newsom. Listen, I'm confident that after my reporting in California, you saw the videos of forging the signals.
Yes.
I think people will get arrested. I don't think that's going to satisfy the comments. I think they're going to say, why hasn't Gavin Newsom been arrested? I don't support arresting Gavin Newsom just because I don't like the guy.
Yeah.
So there's a blurred. We have different definitions of justice. I think I have some confidence, and we'll see. I saw the Treasury Secretary said, "Hey, we're going to give an incentive for exposing fraud." No, that's good. That's a good idea.
We'll give you money to rat.
Now that's a great idea.
I'll do it. I will do it.
Now that's an incentive.
Yeah.
But there has to be an actual prototype or of an example of this.
Yeah.
But if they start rewarding citizen reporters for fraud and giving them whatever, forget 30%, give me 1% of $1 billion.
Yeah.
That'll change the game. Now that gives me some hope. And the other thing I'll say about the Department of Justice is, from what I've seen, is they can't find enough good federal prosecutors. There just aren't enough lawyers to prosecute these cases because they're afraid.
They're scared.
Yeah.
Because they don't want them to come after them.
Yeah.
The fear is paralyzing people. It's paralyzing the American people. So what do? You try to get more than just O'Keefe and Shirley and Rubin and John Cho and Cam Higbee. You try to create a little army of citizen exposers. Because if what I do doesn't matter, people say, we don't need to expose him, O'Keefe. It doesn't matter if no one's arrested. Listen, Vince, if what I do doesn't matter, then nothing matters.
Yep.
Then educating your kid arithmetic and English doesn't matter.
Yes.
If educating the American people about what's really going on doesn't matter,
Yeah.
but people actually feel it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, without accountability, it's essentially saying that truth has no value.
That's right.
And that's a scary, scary thing.
That's a scary place to be. And that justice is not based upon what's real,
Yes.
which is even scarier.
Yeah, it's based upon mass dehumanization. I mean, I see it all the time. People have literally no standard. They could see someone suffer tremendously, and so long as they dislike that person, they consider it okay. And on the opposite end of it, they consider it the biggest atrocity in the world. So the hypocrisy drives me crazy when I see it.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question. Who is the one person that you believe, from everything, James, that should be in prison for the rest of their life? From everything that you've gone through.
That's a good question.
Who do you believe, meaning in fairness, I know who the hell you are, and I know you'd be fair. Who's the one person that you go, you had that card, you're gonna go to jail with the proof for the rest of your life for what you've done?
In what context? Are we talking about murderers?
Well, no, not necessarily murderers. From what you've seen, James, from the corruption, from the lying. I understand what you're going through right now, and I hope that person gets held accountable. And if it's not in this life, he'll get accountable in the next life if he doesn't come to Christ. I truly believe that. But who do you think? Let me not even say that. Let me not say for the rest of their lives.
Yes,
who do you think belongs in prison right now, today, for what you've exposed from either it be COVID, and all the stuff that you've done, James? If you had to make your list, your top 10.
Man, that's a good question.
Okay, who would be? And you could ponder on that question. You could
I need
ponder
to
on
think
it.
about that for a moment. I mean, I'm fresh off this case today.
Yeah. You're probably going to everybody in the courtroom. He's like, that guy.
I've been sued so many times. Let me explain before I answer your question. There's a lot of projection in our world. Evil accuses goodness of precisely what evil is guilty of.
Yes.
Like, I should have won a restraining order. The guy said he wanted to kill me.
I agree.
Obviously.
Yes.
But everything is so reversed. Everything that I've been accused of, my adversaries should be paying the price for what I've paid the price for. Doesn't mean it's life in prison. But I mean, the betrayal has hurt the most of all the things I've been through. It's like that scene in Braveheart when Mel Gibson falls off the horse.
Oh my God.
People need to understand, I don't mind fighting the enemy. Whatever the enemy is. I mean, I hate to put it in dualist terms, but enemies of truth and justice, that's actually kind of fun. I like being a warrior. What I don't like is seeing people on my side betraying me and stabbing me for money and power. I think those people need to go to prison.
Yes.
That's the worst. That's like Dante's Inferno, ninth circle of hell. If you stab a good guy in the back and take money to hurt something good, just because you want to make some money, you belong to go to jail. And I've heard reports. I haven't been able to corroborate it, so I don't want to say it publicly, but I can speak to it generally. I don't know if this is true, but even in our current administration, that bad guys are paying people off to not be held accountable. The people taking the bribe need to go to prison.
I agree 100%.
Period. Full stop. And if anyone's being blackmailed and bribed, then those people need to be held accountable. Who's going to hold them accountable? Except my camera.
Yeah, for people to see it. And James, I love that you just said that because this question wasn't going to happen for a while. And I know I messaged you. I think this is the first time I think we started talking when this happened. I want to say a year, maybe 2 years ago. You said that stuck with me, something awesome. You said, and I forgot the interviewer. You said, is it 10 million?
Yeah.
Is it 20 million? Is it 100 million? And you said, what is your price? Because if your price is not your life, then you are for sale. What specific moment when the mission has become like, was that like a moment that you had with everything that was happening? What was that?
That was because I was fired from the company I created, Project Veritas.
Yeah.
And think of it, I had to create an outside, different entity to do the thing that I needed to do because nobody in the world would do it. And I started it from my dad's garage while on probation, built it up into this big organization, and it came down to like fear and greed and envy and perhaps something else that will come out one day. And I was I was in my conference room with my staff, and I'm going after the FBI, Pfizer, I'm going after BlackRock, I'm going after the most powerful people in the world.
Yep.
And it occurred to me, this is in January of 2023, I looked to my left, looked to my right, how many of these people would take a $100,000 bribe?
That's a scary thought.
And I sat there in silence, and I ruminated on this, and I thought, probably more than zero.
Wow.
I mean, we all agree more than zero.
Yeah.
And you begin to realize that people's price is much, 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 much less than you actually think. It's 30 grand, 80 grand. The sheriff that came to my office and the FBI agent that came to my home and took a battering ram, I said, have you ever raided a journalist before? May your children forgive you. Well, I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my job. At what point is I'm just doing my job to feed my kids? To what extent of injustice are you willing to go to feed your kids? Mm-hmm. So when you go through these things, and then I was sitting with Eric Metaxas in New York, and I just had a very real moment. That's what you're referring to. I said, what do you guys want? Do you want 10 million? Do you want 20 million? Do you want 100 million? Like, what is your price? And if your price is your life, that is a price.
100%.
Yes.
That's a price.
100%.
And people say, well, O'Keefe, you shouldn't have named your show that. You're manifesting that. I said, that is the bottom line reality of this world. What are you willing to live for? What are you willing to die for? And when I was removed from my company, which was, at the time, it felt like a pain worse than death. It felt like castration. I was Project Veritas.
Of course.
And they just stabbed me and they kicked me out of that office that I built with my architect sister, cut my credit card in half, and didn't give me a week's pay.
Wow.
So that's when you live through that, you formulate these things, and that's the price is my life. That's what it was born out of.
There's a lot of religious allegory in everything that's going on for you, by the way. Like, it does connect.
I was thinking about it.
100%. Yeah, and the pursuit of wealth, and you're warned against it. The pursuit of money, the not money itself, but the pursuit of it, and being willing to trade your values for it. So if you're not living to a higher standard, a higher value, then
what are you living for?
You'll be broken by it. 100%. You'll be broken by the material world.
And that's full circle. That's why we don't have accountability. That's why people are hopeless, because they're not doing the right things. So that was the price of my life, and it kind of took off after that. People were really. I remember you messaged me.
That's the moment that I'm seeing it, James, and in that moment I'm like, wow, because think about it, James. What you're doing, you just mentioned BlackRock. You mentioned Pfizer. I saw a great movie called Michael Clayton with George Clooney. When I actually watched his freaking content, and he's a fantastic actor. I'll never take that away from him. He's a fixer for a firm that's representing a huge pharmaceutical company like a Pfizer, and these people have hitmen. If you don't believe, because I believe in the Bible, and I believe that it all corroborates, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, we're not wrestling with flesh and blood. Once you realize it's evil, because a lot of people go like this, Elon, they go like this, they go, nah, Roberto wouldn't do that, or James, or what's his face, Matt wouldn't do that. Hold on. Yes, they would. You don't know who he is, you don't know what his soul is about. I've seen wives online, you guys have seen it, that have paid someone to kill their husband because he had $100,000 life insurance that she was going to get. It's evil, and it's out there. Yeah, go ahead.
I just saw a video of a guy who was killed by his wife because she thought he had life insurance, and he received a ton of money. and she goes to jail for prison. Then it turns out the life insurance policy was a guy from Congo or something.
Oh
like that.
my God.
Made a fake, like the
fake one,
scams,
the
and he didn't
scandal.
even have the money.
Yeah. So I feel like all the stuff, James, what's your price? Because your life, because you're in the game that you're in, James. There's right. I already know you're in conversations and places with some people that don't give a damn about life. They care about money, and a broad amount of money. And I want people to understand what you're doing, bro. There's only a handful of you. Like to me, you're here. All these guys, and I'm so proud of them. I'm proud of the Nick Shirleys and everything. You're here, and I want to close up with something lighter. I want to ask you a couple questions.
I want to address one thing you said. Yeah.
But again, I can't emphasize enough, bro. This is the third time I'm saying it. You keep going, bro, because I saw your face yesterday in the video, and I went, uh-oh. I go, James is. Yeah. It's like, what am I doing this for? What am I doing this for? But I'm telling you right now, you're doing it for us.
And sometimes I got to ask that question to all the comments, because if they lose James O'Keefe,
the hell you guys?
If I say, you know what? Okay, you guys are right. It doesn't matter. And then so sometimes you got to put it back on. But can I just say one thing?
Yeah,
about that?
Go for it.
When I think most things are about money.
Yes.
And as investigative reporting, there's this adage: follow the money. You've heard follow the money. Yeah. The fact that people think it's about something other than money just shows me how foolish and naive people can sometimes be. It's always about the money.
Of course.
And there's one quick thing. When I was let go from Veritas recently, I talked to a mutual friend of this person I'd known for 9 years who worked for me, and this person stabbed me in the back. It wasn't in a malicious way, but did not have my back. And I asked them just last week, I'm like, why'd you do it? Why not stand up? You know this was wrong. You know that what these guys, the board was doing was wrong. And they said, James, I just need to feed my kids.
Jeez.
Just need to feed my kids. And it was like, whoa. It's like, I mean, you can feed your kids at any other job.
Of course. Yeah.
But it's all it is, man, every day. And you know who benefits from all the political prosecutions, right? Lawyers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they make ungodly amounts of money. And the judges, and the cops, and the bailiffs, and the administrative state that exists, this Leviathan funded by all this bullshit, so people can feed their kids and send them to school. It's like...
I think that's all rationalizations for evil. Right? Like anyone who commits an act of evil has to convince themselves that it wasn't
I've heard
actually
it
an act of
thousands
evil.
of times. I've heard it thousands and... that statement, I heard it on the border. I heard it when Border Patrol shrugged their shoulders and said, hey, I'm not going to shoot back at that cartel guy. I heard it in Minnesota when the cops left the city and they were throwing needles at us filled with fentanyl.
Oh my God.
And you know what they all said? I just got to feed my kids, man. I'm like, you're making $130,000 a year to do a goddamn job.
Yeah.
What do you mean you got to feed your kids? Go work for an insurance company. You have a job to do. I've heard it over and over and over again. And maybe because I'm the naive one. Maybe I'm the crazy guy. Maybe I need to get with the program.
Yeah.
And stop being virtuous.
Don't stop.
But that's what you saw on my face, because I'm the asshole. I got a sheriff coming to my office, delivering me criminal restraining order papers in Miami domestic court. And I say, why are you doing this? And he says, I just got to feed my kids.
Oh.
So we got to change that
Yeah.
for there to be accountability in the United States of America. I mean, it's so fundamentally, everything is so fundamentally backwards.
Yep.
And if you're watching this, and I'm sorry I got really serious, and
all
I'm supposed
good.
to have a good time, but...
It's hot takes. Aliens.
You may say, well, what the hell? Then the audience goes, what am I supposed to do? It starts with you, not the other guy. You want the other guy to do the right thing. It's always the other guy. It starts with you. Mm-hmm. You gotta, what can I do in my life? And the first thing you can do is don't lie.
Yep.
That's it.
Number one.
Alexander Solzhenitsyn, live not by lies, just tell the truth. Tell the truth and be brave. That's my advice to people. So there's no arrest, there's no accountability. What about you, Mr. Comment in the comment section? Mr. Jones, what are you doing in your day-to-day? How are you being a better human being? That's what I've learned in my life. So that's I'm done with my speech now.
I love it. Well, James, because we're wrapping up, I want to ask you 5 questions, and then I got a scene from a movie that I want all of us to act out, and all 4 of us have lines. You're an actor, so I want to do it. This is a quick thing of would you rather, James. Would you rather marry Nancy Pelosi or spend 3 years in maximum security prison?
Wait, can you say that again?
This is where we're going. I love how we're like, he just gave like the best of it. He's like, listen, and don't drink and drive. Anyway, would you rather hook up with, would you rather marry Nancy Pelosi or spend 3 years in maximum security prison?
Marry? Do I have to like
have to
make
pick-
out with the guy?
No.
Just sleep
No,
with
in the
him?
prison, you're on your own in prison. But you have to marry her or you're in jail for 3 years.
Marry her.
Or go to jail.
But if I marry her, do I have to sleep with her?
I mean, you're married, James.
That's a qualifier. I mean,
You have to.
You have to.
Once every 2 weeks.
Go ahead, James.
Jesus. I mean,
Lights are allowed to be off.
Hey, she's good at the stock market, though, so.
Lights off.
I would say
Once every 2 weeks.
Depends upon which prison and all this sort of thing. But
What?
I would say I'd probably rather go to federal prison.
All right. Would you rather drink a cup of UFC fighter sweat or go on a road trip with Bill Maher, James Carville, and Dylan Mulvaney?
I'd rather go on a road trip.
Okay. Would you rather lick the floor of a Vegas nightclub that Adam goes at 3 o'clock in the morning or have Hillary Clinton as your mother-in-law for life?
I would rather lick the floor.
Would you rather use a public gas station toothbrush you found by the sink or make out with Rosie O'Donnell for 30 minutes?
Oh, that one's tough.
I would rather use the toothbrush. I cite
30
RFK's
minutes?
comments about snorting coke off the toilet seat.
Okay, got you. Last one. Would you rather jump out of a plane with Anthony Fauci and fight over one parachute or be chained wrist to wrist with Adam Schiff while he parties at a gay nightclub?
I'd rather jump off a plane. I'd defeat him. I'd get the parachute.
Bingo. Okay, last thing I want to do. James, are you a movie guy?
Somewhat.
Okay, well, I took the scenes from, Elon, that's you.
Thank
Well,
you.
that's
I
you
got it.
too.
Yep.
James, this is the scene, this is the diner scene of Reservoir Dogs. Have you ever seen that scene, that movie?
Once, maybe.
James, we'll just hold the lines. And then, by the way, James, you have to do this here. Look at that right there. This is your stage direction. You know you have to do that there.
Got it, got it.
James, just remember, guys, it's a serious scene, Humberto, because English isn't your first language. You have the least amount of scenes.
I'm still gonna mess it up. All right.
So, by the way, this is the scene where they're just at the diner. They're plotting for the heist. You are going to be, you're Mr. Pink. I'm nice guy Eddie. Who are you? You're Mr. Blue. And Humberto, you are, where are you at?
Mr. Blonde.
Mr. Blonde. So you have one line. And,
Okay.
But it's a big line, Humberto. So.
okay.
Fine.
Come on, throw in a buck.
I don't tip.
You don't tip.
No, I don't believe in it.
Wait, you don't believe in tipping.
You know what these chicks make? They make shit.
Don't give me that. She didn't make enough money. She can quit.
I want to get this straight right now. You don't tip ever.
I don't tip because society says I have to.
Okay?
All right. I mean, I'll tip if somebody really deserves a tip. If they really put forth the effort, I'll give them something extra. But this tipping automatically, it's for the birds. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're just doing their job.
Hey, this girl was nice.
She was okay, but she wasn't anything special.
What's special? Take you in the back and suck your prick?
I'd go over 12% for that.
Look, I ordered coffee,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Now, we've been here a long freaking time. And she's only filled my cup 3 times. I mean, when I ordered coffee, I wanted it filled 6 times.
6 times? Well, what if she's too freaking busy?
The words too freaking busy shouldn't be in a waitress's vocabulary.
Excuse me, Mr. Pink, but the last thing that you need is another cup of coffee.
Jesus Christ. I mean, these ladies aren't starving to death. They make minimum wage. I used to work minimum wage. And when I did, I wasn't lucky enough to have a job that society deemed tip-worthy.
You don't care that they're counting on your tip to live?
Do you know what this is? You know what this is? It's the world's smallest violin, playing just for the waitresses.
And scene. Well, James, thank you very much for being here. I think it was awesome. I think we laughed. I could have cried. It was serious. And thank you for the scene. If you want to let everybody know, James, where they could find you, what they could do, help you support, talk to them.
We have a nonprofit, we have a foundation. It's called Citizen Journalism Foundation. You can go to o'keefemediagroup.com. That's o'keefemediagroup.com. Your donations are tax deductible. We got a lot of legal bills to pay. Fighting for your rights, your First Amendment rights under the Constitution, to bring forth the truth so the public may know it. It's a fundamentally American concept. And stay tuned from the Justice League. Myself, Anthony Rubin, Cam Higbee, Savannah Hernandez, Jonathan Cho, and many other brave citizen journalists. There will be arrests. There will be arrests. Do you believe it? You have to believe it for it to happen. I believe it. Stay tuned.